As you know, you and I, we don't watch superhero spectacle anymore, so we're not so different. And one of the pushing force is the fact that there are so many products coming out at the same time being promoted in the exact same way to be this incredible story unlike any other. And it formed into this pressure that a lot of people became numb and bored because of it. I'll say this from my personal experience because obviously people experience different PTSD. I'm a very picky guy when it comes to entertainment. So because of that, I don't watch a lot of superhero stuff even though that was like my main genre. I don't watch the Marvels, Secret Invasion, Batman Caped Crusader, The Penguin, or even Agatha all along, and it's not because these shows and movies suck, but I'm just not interested. I don't have genuine passion on these stories. The market has been so saturated that I'm just bored. The only thing I watched recently was like Invincible Season 2 that lives rent-free in my head, and then Deadpool and Wolverine. And don't worry, I'll make a critique on that very soon once the digital version is out. But now you get it. You get my sympathy, you know my struggle and suffering from superhero content. So recently, the teaser trailer for Thunderbolt is out, and we're gonna talk about it. But honestly, this is a movie, remember that. It's not a generic Disney Plus project about 40-year-olds whining about their identity, politics and all that nonsense. This is cinema, quote Scorsese. But on top of that, Thunderbolt itself feels like the peak of the recent Marvel content. So Thunderbolt itself, if you didn't know, is basically the Marvel version of Suicide Squad. You know, the movie that got remastered due to how bad the original one was, like another card game. And the Thunderbolt team includes Yelena, Bucky, Ghost, Red Guardian, Taskmaster, and Captain John Walker. In hindsight, I'm actually not comfortable with the dynamics of these characters, like Bucky, Red Guardian, and John Walker are basically the same. They were strong men who's good in both hand-to-hand combat and long-range weapon, so I could expect the dynamics in the movie would likely get messy, unless it has something to do with their backstory, so each one of them had to go through their own struggle, which is the good outcome that proves me wrong. But aside from that, how is the teaser? To explain that in less than 50 seconds, it's cool, the music doesn't hype the story, and Yelena's arc here sucks ass, and I like Sentry. Now, of course, we can't just be over-judgmental and concluded the movie is pure woke mind virus propaganda, whatever Twitter buzzword you find on your Stegosaurus brain-sized brain. We need to look deeper. So, Thunderbolts, how do I say this? It's not that the crew doesn't have a great track record, but more like I'm so illiterate on their works, so all I can think of is, oh boy, it's probably gonna be ass. So the director is Jake Schreier, who worked on these things. Like I told you, I don't know what the hell is this, but he just directed 6 episodes of Beef, so I guess that's the only one I know. And then the writer has Kurt Busiek, I hope I pronounced that correctly, who actually wrote Lego Marvel, Joanna Callow, who did The Bear, Beef, BoJack Horseman, and Lee Sung-jin, who also wrote Beef. The thing is, if you look at Miss Joanna and Jean, they both are great writers, but this is a superhero. It's a very different niche, far from what they're in. But since there's Kurt Busiek, who is experienced with the genre, there's some sort of balance at least. And hey, Miss Joanna wrote BoJack Horseman, a show with so many characters, so she probably knows how to keep the dynamics of Thunderbolts intact. So again, this is like walking on the edge. I'm so uncertain about this. I mean, Multiverse of Madness, another great story that lives rent-free in my head, was written by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Now, to theorize, MOM probably had some sort of studio interference, and Thunderbolts definitely have different experience, but again, this whole Marvel content being filled with stupid nonsensical spectacle was done by either dumbasses who climbed the ladder and moved onto greater project. For example, Loki's writer wrote Multiverse of Madness, or people who work on a completely different media like comics. Now, if you think it's stupid to think that translate comics to live action is hard, well, I suggest you watch the very first episode of Home Sweet Home Season 1 and you'll understand how bad of a case it is. But basically, Thunderbolts, from what I can find, is just another glorified Marvel project done by people from a completely different niche, pulled by the studio just because they find something that they like and doesn't think through it. Same thing with how Lee Jong-jae was casted in The Acolyte just because the creator of the show thought she liked Squid Game.
I was writing the character of Soul when Squid Game came out. I said that's Soul.
Though to give the benefit of the doubt, Lee Jong-jae actually pulled a great performance. I already talked about him in my Acolyte critique, but yeah, we'll see how this turns out. I'm happy to be proven wrong, and maybe you guys could voice your anger once again in the comment section. But I might change my mind and hit this film on theater, so again, we'll see. Subscribe to support the channel and I'll see you later. Peace.
What brings you here? There is something wrong with me. An emptiness. I'm just drifting, and I don't have purpose.
Right, yeah, of course.